Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the TGMD-2, which is the testing of gross motor development. Now this test is used to identify children who are significantly behind their peers in gross motor skills, plan an instructional program in gross motor skill development, assess individual progress in gross motor skill development, evaluate the success of the gross motor program, to serve as a measurement instrument in research involving gross motor skill development. Now to do this test, we must first know what motor development is. And motor development is the changes in motor performance that are studied over the human lifespan. Now there's different forms of motor development. And the two we're going to be talking about today is the locomotor skills, which are the basic ways to move, such as walking, running, etc., and the manipulative skills, which are a category of motor skills that involve using an object. And they can either be gross, which involve your larger muscles, or fine, which involve the smaller muscles in your body. Now the gross motor skills, which are mainly what this test consists of, are control actions like throwing and kicking a ball, or it can just be walking and jumping. Now gross motor skills utilize the larger muscles, like we've already mentioned, and they require less precision. Now a fine motor skill is they will develop after your gross motor skills, and they're achieved when children learn to use their smaller muscles, like the muscles in hands, wrist, fingers, all the little fine muscles. Now the mastery of these certain muscles, they're going to require more precision and more coordination to master, to perfect throughout your life. Now, we already talked about it, but here are the two subtests we'll be looking at today. We have the locomotor skills and the manipulative skills. Our locomotor skills consist of running, gallop, a hop, a leap, a horizontal jump, and a slide. While our manipulative skills test will consist of striking a stationary ball, stationary level dribble, a catch, a kick, an overhand throw, and an underhand roll. Now I'm about to show you several videos in which I'm working with a kindergartner or a second grader in one of the videos, and I will help describe each of the skills as I go along as I show you the videos. Alright, our first skill we'll talk about today is running. Now, running is a very simple task and we don't think much about it. But the correct way to learn as taught in our test here is to first to move your arms in opposition of your legs, such as your left leg will move and your right arm will go at the same time, as you can see here. You will also have a brief period where both feet are on the ground. There's a narrow foot placement, whether you're landing on your heel or toe. We just don't want you to land flat-footed. And there's a non-support leg bent approximately 90 degrees. Now as you can see here, I went through the motion and taught the kid what I wanted to see, and I saw him do the same thing. And I graded him on which. Alright, next skill is a gallop. And yet again, I'm going to show him how I want him to perform the skill. And what I'm looking for is, in the gallop is, I want the arms bent and lifted to his waist level at takeoff. I need a step forward with his lead foot, followed by a step with a trailing foot to a position adjacent to the, or behind the lead foot. And a brief period where both feet are off the floor. And finally, a rhythm for at least 4 gallops. As you can see, he went in there and back to the cone. I told him he only needed to go 4, but it's hard to control a little kid at times. As you can see, I corrected him where I thought I saw him mess up a little bit and try to correct him so I can give him a better score. As you can see, he kind of corrected it. He went back to his old habit there. Alright, our next skill is our hop. A hop, as you can see, is just jumping on one foot. The easy way to remember it is the Easter Bunny does it wrong. You jump on 2 and you hop on 1. What I'm looking for is the non-support leg swinging in a pendular, like a pendulum. I need the foot, the non-support foot to hang behind the body and swinging to help produce balance. The arms moving to produce force. And I'm looking for 3 consecutive jumps on both feet. Alright, our next skill, we're going to be leaping over the hacky sack here. I didn't want him to go all the way down because the leap is a little more difficult in my opinion. because it's a little more confusing. You got to take off on one foot and land on your opposite foot. It's a period where both feet need to be off the floor. As you see, he's a little out of control here. It's like I tried to correct him. The last thing I'm looking for is the forward reach with the arm opposite of his lead foot, such as running as you want the right arm with your left foot. Alright, next we'll have the horizontal jump. The horizontal jump, we're also going to jump over the hacky sack. It's a preparatory movement that includes flexion of both knees with arms extended behind your body. We need the arms to extend forcefully forward and with upward reaching full extension above your head. The takeoff and land, we need you to take off and land on both feet for balance, and we want your arms to thrust downward to help control your land. As you can see, he performed it pretty well today. Alright, the last locomotor skill we have the slide. Well, the slide, it's a pretty simple one. We would face a wall. I told him to take his chest and to face the wall because I want his body turned sideways, basically so his shoulders are aligned with we want your shoulders to be lined up with the floor, and you want to, sort of like a gallop, your step with the lead foot followed by a slide of your trail foot, though, to a point right next to it. You don't want them to touch, though, because you don't want to trip over your feet. And what we're looking for is a continuous slide, such as you see here. He's pretty good rhythm, and we need at least 4 to the right and 4 to the left. He did a pretty good job on his slides. Alright, our first manipulative skill, we're going to be striking a stationary ball, and what we're looking for is the correct grip. We need your strong hand, the dominant hand, which in my case and the kid's case would have been our right hand, on top of the ball. We want our non-preferred side of our body to face the imaginary tosser like if there was a pitcher in baseball. We're going to hip and shoulder rotate, as you can see, to rotate during the swing, and we're going to transfer our body weight to our front foot so we can generate force and hopefully hit the ball with the bat. As you see here, he hit the cones a little bit, but he did a pretty good job in his first swing. Now, if you watch him in the second swing, as I remember, he gets a little carried away and he doesn't swing properly. He doesn't set up correctly, and he hits about in the middle of the cone. The ball goes flying, but he hit about the middle of the cone. Alright, the second manipulative skill, one of my favorites obviously, is dribbling a ball. Now we're looking to contact the ball with your strong hand, and we want to keep it about your belt, but we want to contact the ball with your fingertips. We don't want you to slap it because you have more control with your fingertips. Now we want to keep the ball in front of your foot to the side of it so you don't kick it, so you can keep, because we're looking for 4 consecutive bounces without having to move your feet to retrieve it, and we don't want you to lose the ball. He does a real good job. He kind of slaps it there a little bit and he gets a little carried away, having some fun. Starts to show off for me a little bit. Alright, our third manipulative skill is a pretty simple one. It's the catch. I'm teaching him how to properly catch the ball. And to start this, you need to start with your hands in front of the body and your elbows flexed. As you can see there, easy to catch. Now we need your arms extended while reaching for the ball as it arrives, because you don't want to catch it with your body, because we're trying to catch it with our hands only. And it's what we're doing here is I taught you to catch it with their hands and bring it into their body instead of letting them catch it with their body and trapping it. Alright, but next we're going to kick a soccer ball, and there's 4 simple steps to this one, and we need a rapid, continuous approach to the ball. We slowed it down because we was in kind of close corners here, but what we're looking for is a good few steps to the ball. But on the last step, we want an elongated step. See, with my left foot, since I'm kicking with my right, my left foot's going to be my last step. I'm taking a big step, and we're going to put the ball right behind it. He's right-footed too, so see, he takes a big step and kicks it. Because we want our non-kicking foot to be placed even or slightly behind the ball. And we're going to kick it right on the inside of our foot, right around the big toe area, kind of. Generates more control on the ball instead of just kicking it with our toes. See, he gets a little carried away and kicks it more sideways, but generally, if you kick it with the inside of your toe, you're going to be able to control it a little better. Alright, our 5th manipulative skill is an overhand throw. Looks a little like a baseball throw. He lost my ball right there, by the way, in that throw. We need a wind-up initiated with a downward movement. We need to rotate your hips and shoulders to the point where the non-throwing side faces the wall. We're looking for the weight transferring by stepping with the opposite foot and a follow through of the ball released diagonally across the body toward the non-preferred side. And that video moved pretty quick, so I'm going to back it up just to show you one more time with his last throw here. As you watch, he steps back, he follows through with his hand, he releases it pretty well. It's a good throw for a young man. Alright, our sixth and final manipulative skill. We're going to do the underhanded roll. It's going to look like a bowling strike here. Very similar motion. We want our preferred hand, yet again my right and his right as well, to swing down and back, reaching the ball trunk so when we bring it forward, we can generate a little momentum. We want to step forward with the foot opposite our preferred hand, which is our left foot here. He didn't step extremely well. I teach him a little bit. And he bounced it a little bit. We're trying to bend our knees lower to the body so we can prevent it from bouncing. And we're trying to keep the ball within 4 inches of the ground. We don't want it to bounce it too high. That way we can hopefully get him ready to play some fun kickball. If he wants to pitch, he can throw a decent roll to whoever else is on the other team. Alright. Now we went through our 12 stages. We gave them grades, and we could look up the percentage of where they need to be maybe at their age, such as a kindergarten or second grade level. And maybe you look up what they need to work on or where they was exceptional at, such as maybe they lacked in hitting the ball, and we could see if they was either behind or whether they was really far ahead. Now, what was the importance of this test? Well, as I researched a little bit, there's several researchers that suggest that motor development is beneficial for intellectual functioning for your first 2 years of life, and also proper motor development can lead to a healthier lifestyle later in life. Therefore, it's pretty obvious that motor development is an essential component of development for all children. Now, motor development, it might not seem like a whole lot right now, but by teaching these kids how to run properly or just to roll a ball or any of these skills, we're teaching them many games which we could lead to what we talked about earlier, discrete skills or serial skills or maybe some continuous skills which they can use to apply later. Maybe they want to play a sport such as football or basketball later in life, and by teaching them now we can go ahead and give them the proper steps to begin that process to being an athlete that they want to be later in life. And hopefully and if they don't want to be an athlete, maybe they'll just choose to be a healthier lifestyle and live a fun, healthy life out there. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for your attention. Have a great day.